The steel dagger. Wait, that's not right. The steel dagger. I'm playing. I love the humble steel dagger. In a magical world with glowing fantasy weapons and elemental dragons, this and that, the steel dagger has none of that. And that's what makes it special. Your boys didn't make a full scale replica of this thing. And spoiler alert, it came out way better than I expected. Like I said, the steel dagger doesn't offer anything aesthetically unique, but that's actually where it excels. Compared to Skyrim's many flamboyantly designed daggers, the steel version is simply an effective design. So instead of 3D modeling, I'm sculpting this dagger in some software called Zbrush. I think sculpting is a better process because it's not perfect like 3D modeling is. So the final product reflects those imperfections that would result from physically forging a weapon by hand. And then to further accentuate this effect, I intentionally sculpted some dings and scratches into the piece. The wear gives the dagger a sense of mystery. It tells a story. It feels like a weapon that's seen battles, not just a model off of the shelf. But yeah, this process takes hours, so is it worth it? I think so, but obviously you don't want to sit here for hours, so it's sped up between 20 and 100 times, so this is the final product. So aesthetically it's complete, but I'm going to be printing this with a small size resin printer, so there's absolutely no way this whole thing is going to fit. So what I got to do is break this up into 3 separate pieces, and then I booleaned out some holes and then put pegs of the same shape on the pieces that go into it, so they can all connect together and look like one solid piece in the end. That's more like it. And here are the 3 separate pieces. Now it's time for the best part of 3D printing, sanding. Yay! So I super glued the insides of the connections together, and now I'm painting resin over them in order to fill in those gaps and also just strengthen the connection. And then of course we cure them together. And then more sanding, woohoo! Man, I love doing this so much. If I could just do this forever, heaven. No, it sucks. This took about an hour for me to do. Luckily, you'll only see about 10 seconds of it. I envy you. Thankfully we're done with sanding. I primed the model in gray with some cheap home improvement store primer, and I'm going to be painting this with acrylics. I'm using higher quality gaming acrylics that people paint miniatures and stuff with. And I'm not just painting one shade of metallic paint. I think people typically assume that's all it takes. And sure, it looks decent, but if you want a realistic metallic finish, you're gonna have to make it look a bit weathered. So I paint various layers of different shades of metallics, darker and lighter, kind of sporadically across the blade, to make it look a bit oxidized. And then for the leather handle, it's the same kind of concept as the blade. After I paint a few layers of brown, I dry brush over it with a lighter shade of brown to give those high points some highlights, and it just gives the leather a lot more depth.